Welcome to the Jaron Jarvis channel. I am Jaron Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, something keeps sending me strange messages at work. I work at a large coffee shop on one of the busiest streets in my city. It's not a glamorous job, in fact I kind of hate it, but it's extra income that I desperately need. Unfortunately, I'm also one of the few employees who is willing to get up at 3 in the morning to open the place. I'm completely alone for the first few hours of my shift. Customers will rarely show up so early, and another employee won't join me until 7 a.m. I am not a morning person, and I think the free coffee is the only thing that keeps me alive here. Opening the coffee shop tends to be a quiet, monotonous experience. There's no sunlight outside and I don't see anyone else on the streets besides the occasional drunk. The air is cold and stinging this early, even during the summer months, and it's not unusual to see rats scurry from the garbage bins in the shop's back alley. The cafe itself is locked up, with all lights and speakers turned off. I have a set of keys to open it and I'm one of maybe 2 employees who does. I'll admit that work can be unnerving at times. In the dark, you'll hear untraceable knocking noises, sudden scratching from behind cupboards. Lights or screens will turn on/off and espresso machines will whir to life by their own accord. You can usually chalk it up to mice and electrical issues, but it will still make you second-guess yourself as you open up the downstairs stockrooms and wander the empty halls. Every closed door could hide God knows what behind it if you let your mind run wild enough. It's creepy, but I had been able to dismiss these fears almost entirely. At least, until today. Something has happened to me at work that I can't explain. It's not an electrical issue, it's not mice. This is something else. I'm still hoping that this is all in my head, hoping that I'm crazy, but something tells me what's happening is real. I'm writing it down here just in case. Yesterday morning, I arrived at work and started my opening tasks as usual, turning on the sound system and the oven, beginning to unpack pastries, etc. To my surprise, my phone buzzed loudly in my pocket, and checking it revealed a text from my manager. This was a rare occurrence, especially this early in the morning. It read, "Good morning Matt, Steve wanted to ask you to check the answering machine. I'm supposed to get a delivery and they said they'd call today before showing up. Thanks." This wasn't an odd request in and of itself, though I did question why my manager hadn't just called me instead. He knew that I was supposed to be at work by now. Nonetheless, I picked up the cordless work phone and pressed the voicemail button. "You have one new message. To listen to your messages, press 1. I complied. What followed was the sound of faint static. This lasted for a good 10 seconds, and I was about to hang up when someone on the recording finally spoke up. The voice didn't sound quite right though, like a person trying to talk through a fan, giving the words an almost robotic filter. It was hard to tell if the speaker was male or female. The voice repeated the same word, over and over again, through the static. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. The chant stopped, and I was brought back to the voicemail menu asking me if I wanted to delete it or have it replayed. Understandably weirded out, I hit the replay button so I could at least get an idea of when and where the message came from. From, private. Number. Sent at. Sent. The phone abruptly brought me back to the voicemail menu, claiming that I had no messages. It seemed like I wasn't getting any more information about the mysterious caller. A chill went down my spine, but I still rationalized the message as an error of some sort. The work phone was a product of a bygone age, before people had cell phones. It wasn't a stretch to think that messages could be rendered incoherent by the old tech. I finished arranging pastries, counted the money in my cash register, turned on the lights and unlocked the front door of the cafe. The rest of my shift went by without incident. No delivery for the manager arrived. Today was when things got genuinely disturbing. I was opening again, particularly exhausted after being unable to sleep during the night. The city streets were empty and still, as always, but the air was particularly frigid. I unlocked the front door and right as I entered the cafe I clumsily knocked my keys to the floor. Fuck. I let out a long, exaggerated sigh and picked the keys up, then continued to make my way to the service counter. That's when I noticed the music. The speakers around me were softly playing what seemed to be piano. I'd heard the music before during shifts, but hearing it now disturbed me. Sure, an employee could have forgotten to turn the music off, but combined with the events of the previous day, I was easily shaken. I made my way towards the counter far more cautiously, opened the cupboard that contained the switch for the sound system, and shut it down. Mercifully, this stopped it. The sound of a final piano note pierced the air around me before I was left to stand, alone, in the now quiet cafe. My eyes darted around me, passing over the dark corners of the store. I was partly relieved to see nothing out of the ordinary. I seemed to be alone. I wasted a few precious minutes of my time to prepare the cafe for opening, trying to regain my composure. The silence had made me acutely aware of how loudly my heart was beating in my chest. I felt stupid for being spooked so easily. This time, I went through the rest of my opening procedures with the lights on. The remainder of my shift went by without incident once again. The store manager stopped by briefly, and I got a chance to ask him if he'd received the order yet. He gave me a puzzled look and said I never asked about an order. I wanted to show him the text he'd sent, but my phone was in my bag downstairs. Store protocol. Things got too busy after that, and the manager left before I could press the matter any further. After what felt like an eternity, I clocked out for the day, changed, grabbed my backpack and made my way back home. That's when I finally got a chance to check my phone. New voicemail, 7 hours ago. Puzzled, I opened my inbox and listened. The message started off with static. Then, the same robotic voice from the day before started its chant of numbers again, building in volume until I almost pulled my phone away from my ear. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There was silence again, for only a few seconds, until I could hear the faintest background noise, a piano, playing a recognizable tune. There was the sound of a door opening in the distance, and the clink of something metallic being dropped. A voice, unmistakably mine, whispered fuck and let out a sigh, then. We've hit the end of your messages. To listen to your messages again, hit 11. I'm writing on my laptop at home now. I tried to show my roommate the message on my phone, but it's gone. I don't know if I deleted it by accident. Was it all in my head? I don't fucking know. I'm supposed to open at the coffee shop again next week, but I don't even want to go back. I'm scared of looking at my phone again.